questions.
I guess start off by it was a tough locker room to leave. You got quite a few guys in there disappointed. We talked at half about not playing well, not making good decisions, and you see these guys battle back and take the lead on a couple of occasions, and kind of do some of the stuff that we thought on offense that we could do all game. So then obviously you get down at the end, and throughout last 2-3 football games that we've had, we've always made that stop defensively at the end. A little bit of busted coverage, but I want to really get a chance to take a look at it film-wise. But just tough on the guys. Those guys walk their tails off to put in a situation to win. Did everything I feel possible to win, and then don't. So, but got one more game. Finish. Got to go to Valley. Excited to hopefully try to put this one behind, but this may take a little longer to put behind. Maybe some of the stuff that that's happened in the past.
All right, raise your hand if you have a question. We'll get a mic to you. Ready to lead us off? Bond, down front. JD.
Well, it was an HBCU game day. Coach, take us through that last scoring play for Bethune. It almost looked like a broken play at some point, but then a receiver comes open.
4th and 8, we run our shell coverage, guys over the top, trying to keep them in front. Look like maybe our corner bit on something that we don't normally bite on. We're deep. We know the situation. We know that keep it in front. Based on what the iPad that I saw, it kind of looked like he was chasing a ghost as opposed to being over the top. Like we work on every day. They want coverage for us. At the end of the day, they catch it. We keep it in front. We should never allow anybody to get behind them, especially the coverage that we call. So, but truly want to get a chance to look at it and see where we may have failed. But it was a call that we they won't call that we run quite a few times, and so really wanted to see what happened and why it happened.
We'll stand front row here.
Coach Troy White, FAMU Sports. I know you told me not to ask you about your quarterback, but I gotta ask the question. First half, RJ didn't have his best game, but it seems like at the second half, something went off. The light went off and he got hot. Was it a play calling, or was that just who he is as a person?
Well, I just think that it's hard. If you look at the first half, you gotta go back to the stats, and we're second down 13, third down long, on a couple of drives, right? We weren't really able to get in the rhythm that we need to get into. Then Big Dad's running the football, Small A's running the football. Now they gotta account for the run, and then we're able to get the pass game going, right? It's just we had like 2 or 3 series in that first half where we went second and 13, third and 9 off the field. We had two straight 3 and outs, and so it's easy to play quarterback, but now everyone's trying to play the run, and then now you got some guys open behind. So I don't know if that's the kind of player he is. I think he rose to the occasion, but I think it also plays into us having the ability to run the football. We weren't necessarily able to do it early. We were able to do it in the second half, and that was something we didn't want to get out of our game plan. We wanted to just kind of stick with what we were doing because we thought we had the opportunity, or should have the opportunity to be able to run the football. Got hot, and, but it's we had some second down and third down long, which plays into the favor of the defense, and it showed in maybe 2 of those 3 drives in the first half.
We're gonna stay in the front row. We'll do the A's hat and James on the other side.
Hey, what's up, Coach? What's up, Dad? Coach, coming into the week, we always talk on Mondays and we talk about how important this game is. This is not your first rodeo. You can be in classes as an assistant and as a head coach. Couldn't pull out this one, but I know this is one that you really want to win for the fans, for just FAMU in general. So can you talk about that a little bit? It's been a challenging season, and it's kind of seemed like things were looking up, and then just have a derailing loss of that. So I know it may play a lot against you.
Well, I feel for the guys. These guys, we've been a little bit of an up and down season for us, as we know. Guys really put all they could into this game. I think that even at halftime, it wasn't a session of yelling and screaming. It was just a session of making sure that we did the things that we needed to do, because for us, we always felt that it was going to be about us tonight. And whether we allowed it to happen or whether we didn't allow it to happen, who was going to win, it was going to come down to what we did or didn't do. yourself in 4th and 8 in a situation that we really, really like, and we make a call that we feel is really, really good, and then to have it, it doesn't make a play at the end of the game. I just think that you don't want to dwell because you still have one more game to play. But it was a tough locker room right now, and I want to make sure we do right by our seniors and making sure we finish the way we need to finish. But I'm not gonna lie, it was a gut wrenching defeat. That's the truth. We should have won that football game. We did everything we do to win that football game. I feel for his dad. I feel for the seniors because they knew we had to have this one. They wanted to have this one. I think they did everything imaginable to win this football game. We just didn't do it at the end.
Coach James Hill with James Hill Sports. Can you talk about Florida Classic, just the atmosphere, the game, the venue, Orlando, the rivalry? Like, this is a big time episode of HBCU football. But just talk, you've won some of them and lost, but just talk a little bit about the Florida Classic.
Electric, you saw that the packed house. It was packed. This is the second one we've had where the game had a Hail Mary at the end, and unfortunately last year we were the ones on defense. Unfortunately this year we were the ones that were on offense trying to get a Hail Mary. It was a big time football game. I think both sides, the players, one of the reasons they chose for their name was to play in this type of setting, to play in this type of game. But they didn't play in this type. They didn't choose to play in this type of game to lose. I think that's the biggest thing. Up and down game. I know the fans are excited and whatnot, but hell, we didn't win. That's how I feel. We would have loved the excitement to win the game. Great atmosphere, great venue. Loved everything about it except the end result.
Second row on the aisle, and we'll come back to Vaughn and we'll go to
Coach, the rush game was a little bit lacking in the first 3 quarters, but it absolutely exploded in the 4th with 146 yards. How do you think you can improve consistency-wise in the rush game throughout all 4 quarters?
You want to answer that back? I just think you got to stay with it. I think and again I'll go back to the first half. We had first and 10, then you had a 2nd and 13, then you had a 3rd and 9. Right, you can't run them. Right, then we went the same drive again, second and 12, I want to say, and the 3rd and 8. I just we kind of stick with it. I think for and that's what we did. And then you see Jamal and Thad do the things that we know that they could do all year. You can't go away from it, which I think we might have done in the past, and it put us in even tougher situations where it was what the score wasn't a half. We felt we still could do some of the things that we did. We did it. Hit one, Dad hit one, and now floodgates open a little bit as far as what we could do offensively. So I just credit to them, credit to the offensive line, credit to Dad, Jamal doing things that we think that they could do. So hopefully we can get that going earlier, next week.
Okay, we're gonna come back to Vaughn front, then if you pass behind you after you're done, that'll be good.
To piggyback off of that point, last year you had a successful game of rushing. This year again, Bethune-Cookman. Is it something about the Florida Classic where you just know you have to step up even further?
I just play my hand. Every game, just try to come play my hand. But I know this one was kind of big, so I wanted to try to go get my record again. But
And just a quick follow up on that last touchdown. It just seemed like, was it in your mentality that under no circumstances were you not going to score?
I just had a mentality. Don't let one man bring you down. I seen green grass.
Jalen Scott, WHM Sports, just for you guys as well. There was plenty of opportunities to win this game. Obviously, some mistakes down the line. But as a leader on this team, how can you keep your guys mentally sharp to finish the season on the highest note possible?
We got 24-hour rules. After 24 hours, we let it go. So we move on to the next one. Just have a better game next week. We just gotta finish.
Can you pass the front right here, right?
Keep that with Fangs podcast. We noticed in the last couple of games, it's really been an offensive explosion for much of the season, but it seems like the defense has been lacking at times. What are some of the things that we've seen that maybe have been some of the causes or have been some of the root issues with our defense giving up so many points, and especially when we even got turnovers there?
Yeah, I mean, just that mentality of finishing. You know, I think that we stop here first quarter, second quarter, third, whatever it may be, and just the mentality of just keeping that foot on their neck. You know, on 2 occasions, we took the lead, and 2 occasions we gave up the lead. So, in big plays, those are things those are disappointing things. Again, we go at it every day. Offense goes against defense, defense goes against offense. Some days they win, some days they don't. But the big plays are the things that that necessarily I'm not necessarily accustomed to, especially being here for it, and it's just been something that's ongoing. But biggest thing for us is finishing games is something that we take pride in. We didn't do that today, and that's something again we'll talk about, discuss on the football team once we get ourselves back going again.
Director, 2 more. We got red in the shirt in the back, and we'll go back to the A's to wrap up.
Coach, throughout the season, it hasn't been looking easy at times, but a lot like tonight's game, you guys didn't give up. What can you say about your team's ability to, even when it gets tough, just keep pushing and pushing and pushing?
That's what they do. Again, finish is one of our core values. I just think that they got a great group of seniors. Got some really good football players in our locker room, and it has been up and down, yeah. But these guys come to work every day. That's all we can ask of. That's all I ask of those guys. I'm really disappointed for them. That's I'm somber or sad because it's for them. Because I know that those guys put a lot into tonight. All year they put a lot into what's how we wanted to make sure we finish tonight. And offense gave us 2 occasions to finish this football game, and we didn't do it. So. It's a team game, but we normally, especially defense, especially in a game in this type of situation, we normally end it, and we weren't able to do that.
All right, last question up front.
My question is with that all season I said next year at the Classic you're gonna be the one getting the questions, and now you over here getting the questions again. Talk about kind of piggybacking what Taylor asked just now. Talk about finishing strong. You want to finish strong for Coach Colzie. You got that signed through here, one of his first signees. Finishing strong just for FAMU, playing for that FAMU brand, and playing for the name on the front of the jersey. How important is that to y'all moving forward? Because next week y'all got Mississippi Valley, a team that I know y'all will really like to beat on their home field. How important is it to finish strong for Coach Colzie and that FAMU out there?
Yeah. It's important. Right? We took a loss last year on our home field when we shouldn't, so we just gotta go back and handle business.
That, Coach, thank you for your time. Appreciate you being here.